Hey guys, here we are for the Pennzoil Cup Series, Season 2, Race 18 at Charlotte, also known as the second chase race of the season, and we are here to eliminate 4 drivers from a chance at winning the chase. That is the most we will see this season. From here we'll see 3, 3, a 2, and a 2, and a 1, and then we'll be down to our final 4 drivers in the chase. This race is definitely one of the most important in the chase because you saw last week, that's where you got started out on a good foot or bad foot, but here's where you make it up. If you have another bad race here, you're pretty much out because 4 drivers, that's a lot. We're going to see the 1/4 of the field drop out here at this race. We're going to see 3/4 of it moves on, but that's all to be decided in the next 6 races. But for now, we got to see what these 4 people are who drop out. Let's see the starting lineup with Jake Booker on the front row and Derek Petrie on his outside. Row 2, AJ Davidson, and now not in the chase, Gary Weaver. Row 3 has Jay Durrell and Ryan Dunn. Row 4 finds Webster Zygarde and Kyle Singer. Row 5, Cody Russell and last week's winner, Zach Cars. Row 6, Michael Jones and Jay Barker, both chasers. Row 7, Zach Komoski and Kyle Collins. Collins, very depressed that he's not in the chase. Row 8, Joseph Strigley and Nick Purcell's, also teammate to Kyle Collins. Row 9, Brian Lenning and Michael Kraft. Row 10, Blaine Keys and Kevin Ulrich. Row 11, Jack Newman and Rick Witt. Row 12, it's Daniel Voyle still in the chase, and Ferdinand Gabat in the 63. Row 13, Aaron Lukes and Nicholas Samudio. Row 14, Addison Steinbeck and Daniel Maxwell just looking for a good run here today. Row 15, Nikita Riskov slowly rising in the points, and Brian Boone. Row 16, Giovanni Barraza and Ryan Kendall. Row 17, Michael Krister and Cesar Chavez, back for a second time in that car. Row 18, Arsh Hussain and Eric Willis. Row 19, Ethan McDowell and Hergio Arvin Alonso. And row 20, Cooper Cyron and Tausha Desmond-Rodeo making her first start in 1982. In the final row, Sam Rogers and David Barraza. Here are the people that did not qualify for the race, and we are just about set to get this race underway. Here we go. Green flag is out as Jake Booker leads the field to the line for the 3rd consecutive time. He won the pole at his duel at the All-Star race and last week, so Jake Booker's definitely on a roll when it comes to points. But we're going to have to see if that 5 car can hold on. He had a pretty good race last week. We're going to have to see if he can pull it off again this week. Already looking like a direct representation of what happened in Season 1. Remember when Jake Booker dominated the season and ended up taking the championship. Definitely one of the favorites to win this year, but he's got to look out because AJ Davidson's actually pretty quick here too. The 52 car has been making a huge improvement over last year. And that 52 car, like we said, he may or may not be returning as a driver. It completely depends on where he finishes in the points. He clarified that. If he does get a very high spot, he actually might just stay as a driver. But most likely he said he will be becoming a team owner, so this may be his last season. Here we're riding along is Zach Komoski, currently 10th in points. The Peak Toyota has had a very interesting year, is all I can say. Winning the Daytona 500 is probably the biggest win of your career. Probably next to getting a chase, but we've yet to see another person other than Jake Booker. Currently he's the only chaser to win, and Komoski was the 2nd Daytona winner. The first was actually Ryan Dunn in Season 1. But if you remember back to Season 1, Zach Komoski, I mean, it was just terrible for him. Just glad to see him even doing well. And to be in the chase, that's just overachieving for him. Looking at Kyle Collins there, you see leading the pack. But Brian Lenning's going to push him aside. Kyle Collins has been on fire. Ran well at Eldora until he was wrecked out by Cody Russell. And had a very good finish last week at New Hampshire. Currently running up front here again. But if you notice, this field acts like a draft. There is really not a 3rd line in this track. It's either pretty close to the top or dead on the white line on the bottom of the track. If you notice, the yellow line is now the yellow wall, and the white wall is now the white line. Kind of reverse colors for the paint on the track. But really, this track is actually very unique because it's almost a two-pair draft. And what I'm saying is, at Daytona, you usually see a circulation effect. We're seeing this here again. You see Jake Booker out in the back. He was your pole sitter. Now he's already fallen to the back, as well as A.J. Davidson, Kyle Collins, Brian Lenning. This is a few laps later from the last scene, but you can definitely see the draft playing in. You see the 5 pulling in right behind his teammate Jay Barker. Both of them currently in the chase and running very well. And with the circulation effect, you kind of get guys that you don't normally see out front, like Sam Rogers. However, I shouldn't say that. He is actually a winner in the series. Rick Witt as well, and David Barraza in the Image Shack Chevy. He's doing very well, and really, his season has been kind of disappointing, mainly because he hasn't been able to start races. David looking to try to pick up a win sometime in his future, probably after Giovanni gets his first win. But David, a rookie in this series, and hasn't had the best start to it. But coming on the inside, technically you could call Hergiel a rookie, but he's not because he participated last season and tried to attempt more than 7 races, so he's not a rookie. Hergiel, the Avis machine, or sponsored by Budget right now, Avis will be returning next year, but Budget, however, is going to sponsor a race. Same company, but just deciding to split up the sponsors on that 8 machine. Kind of been a controversial name, but he's definitely been a successful one with 2 wins. Not in the chase, however, which was sad, but a guy that has more wins than him, the only guy that has more wins than him, is Jay Durrell, excuse me, with 4 wins. Obviously, has been the talk of the season after getting those 4 wins. And he's been a prime chase candidate. And we got a car coming down in pit road. That's Nicholas Samudio, the Sylvania Ford. It's confirmed that NOS will actually be sponsoring the 62 car if he returns with Raven Racing. They have not specified else if anything happens to the number 62 car if he does not return with that team. But most likely it will be NOS in the car. We're seeing Zach Komoski, Brian Boone, Nick Purcell, Ferdinand Gabat out front. However, the field will get pretty much grouped up. Oh, we got a car spinning! And that is Ryan Dunn! Ryan Dunn taken out. And he was one of the cars that did not have a... Oh, and there's more wrecking in the back. I see Hergiel and Cody Russell as well as a blue car. And this could be problematic. We saw Cody Russell taken out. Ryan Dunn, both those cars are chase contenders. Ryan Dunn is a guy on the bubble. He did not have that good of a race last week. You see, it looks like he just gets taken out. Oh, now it's Jake Booker, and nowhere to go for the 5 car. And people pile in. That was Joseph Srigley. That's another chase car. See the yellow spoiler. That looks like Aaron Luke's. And a ton of chasers involved in this one. We're riding on board Jake Booker. Does the 2 get involved? I don't know. The 2 might have been involved too. That's 3 of the National Racing cars wound up in that wreck. Sam Rogers, Daniel Voiles involved as well. And a huge number of cars taken out in this wreck. And that's on board Jay Barker. It does not look like he'll be involved. You see Michael Jones also making it by. And 2 more cars. That was Michael Kraft involved. So Michael Kraft is add his name to the list as well. And it looks like Jay Barker and Michael Jones go down pit road to avoid it. And disaster behind them. And Michael Kraft's flipping through the grass. And more problems. The 11 Yamaha DirecTV Chevy is now experiencing more problems. We're going to see what happens here. And it looks like Cody Russell trying to avoid the wrecks is just going to get into the 11. That's his teammate. And then slowly falling down the track, that's Daniel Maxwell looking for a good run. And we're going to see what happens here. Oh, David Barraza. And coming in, that's Daniel Voiles going to spin him over. And Cooper Siren's involved. Another wreck for him. And the 11 car involved. That is not good for him because he was not too hot in points. And Blaine Key's involved as well. Oh no, and Hoffman Motorsports, their last chase entry after Gary Weaver, is now wrecked. And he will drop out of the race. Things are not looking good for a lot of chasers here. But the race must continue. We still have a good number of chasers. Green flag is out for Zach Cars. Talk about a good week so far for him, or at least 2 consecutive races. 1 last week, and is doing fine here again today and leading the race. However, talk about just avoiding a wreck. Jay Barker, because he was able to avoid that wreck and come down pit road, he's actually 2nd place, or was until the 52 car led a train on the inside, and they are getting freight trained on the outside. But now we gotta take this into consideration. Now that there are cars that have been damaged in a wreck, they will be slow. With this 2-lane road, it's really going to be difficult when these cars experience lap traffic, because there really is only 2 ways to go on this track. Looking back, Webster Zygarde came in here 19th in points. This was not a race he could afford to do bad on. If he did, he would get kicked out of the chase. So this 12 car cannot afford to be in a wreck. Was lucky he wasn't in this last one, but there's always a possibility of him being caught up in another one. We're looking back. Brian Lenning, 2nd in points. He's involved. It is disappointing to see him in this wreck. He's going to lose a lot of points, but being in 2nd is probably the best time to have this. I see more cars back there. Nikita Rizkov also a little slow. That's Addison Steinbeck and Jacob. Arsha saying Jacob Tube's the owner of the 24 car, but both of those cars are chase drivers. So add 2 more to the list. We got about 8-9 cars that are chasers that are experiencing problems just because of that one wreck. But how about we regroup here for a second? Let's look back up front. How about Tasha Jasmine Rodeo? Was able to make it through that race. This is actually her first race back in this 82 car. Missed last week. It was scheduled to be her first race, but the 82 took on this car after Cesar Chavez was pretty much booted for the ride for making remarks about the team owner and his decisions. Can't really blame him. Don't argue with the boss, I guess. But the 82 car of Tasha, trying to serve her boss well and, not get kicked out again, since she was also had the same problem. But I guess she's kind of dispensable. Nothing much more to say about that. But the 82 trying to show that she still has some worth on that team. And AJ Davidson still showing that he can run up front. Been one of the hot chasers so far ever since he got his win at Dover, I believe. But lap traffic already coming into play. As you see, the 23 and the 24 effectively holding up both lanes on the track. And who's going to get through? No one's getting through. NASCAR's throwing the blue flag. If these guys continue to hold up the field, they will get a black flag. And that's not what either of these chasers want. Oh, and Zach Kamoski trapped in the middle. He does not want to be there, and they touch. Zach Kamoski's turned around. Caution is out. And I kind of saw that one coming. I believe that was Giovanni Barrazzi got into. Like I said, there is no third line on this track. And Charlotte, someone went spinning through the grass. And, that's Giovanni Barrazza. You see the group back there that fell off. But we're going to see a replay here. See Kamoski, just not enough room on this track. He's going to get into Singer. That was Gary Weaver he got into as well. The driver got lost his bid in the chase last week. Weaver 20th place in the points and is not effective anymore in the chase for the Cup. Anyways, we're going to get back going under green flag conditions. Brian Lenning did not go a lap down, and he decided to stay out. Roll the dice. But also staying out was the 82 car. Now, why she lined up behind the 22, I'm not sure, but I don't know if NASCAR knows either. But the 82 is going to easily get around the 22. I'm not sure exactly of Brian's motives. Probably to try to see if, what the heck, let's see if I can lead a lap. Definitely not going to happen, but you see Tasha just trying to stay out front, but she's going to get swallowed up by the 2 chasers of Derek Petrie and Michael Jones, 2 of the stars from last season. But Michael Jones, I can't really say he's not a star. He's in the chase, and he came in pretty high in points as well. You see him riding along with Brian Boone as well here. Bad Dad Racing has been hooked together now, as these 2 drivers have been on the same teams ever since the series started. Except, actually, that's wrong, as Michael Jones actually started the Bud Shootout and Brian Boone in the Daytona, so I guess you could call Michael Jones the veteran compared to Brian Boone, but basically they ran the same amount of races. Don't want to count the Bud Shootout. Anyways, we're looking back up front. You see Zach Cars with, I don't know, it looks like he was falling back, but you see Rick Witt leading the pack out. How would a win help him out in his dismal season? But looks like we have some problems. That's the 63 car, Ferdinand Gabat, that tracks this machine. And Philippines Racing Development was having a good race, but it looks like the 63 is going to have to park his car for problems under the hood. I believe he might be able to get back out. It does not look terminal, but we're gonna have to catch back in with that story later. But the the top 8 has been effectively split up, but we got the 2-lap cars again in almost the same fashion. The 24 and the 23 are acting as a roadblock, covering the both outside and inside lines. I'm surprised NASCAR hasn't just flagged them yet, but it looks like Krister's going to be able to make it through. No word on where Michael Krister's going next year, as no resubmission from the team owner has been assigned. I'm going to have to see how that works out by the end of the year. But you see the 3 cars in the top are going to come down pit road, as well as others. Michael Jones leading them, the Chaser. And coming out, non-Chaser Michael Krister, being the show of the field, is going to come out also leading is AJ Davidson. You just can't stop talking about that name. Davidson has been very surprising these past couple races. Definitely doing a good work for his team, Malley Motorsports. Basically giving him one last good showing, as AJ Davidson pretty much grew up with this team. But we're going to have to see how everything works out in the end. Malley Motorsports, they don't exactly know where they're getting their drivers from, as both AJ Davidson and Jesse Dalton might be leaving the team next season, but well, obviously we'll have to see. Nothing is confirmed completely yet. Anyways, let's look back in our field. This is our second pack. Rick Witt, we talked about him. He would love to win. This season has just been a disaster for him, and it would be amazing to see him come up and win this race. And why not? Rick Witt's taking the lead now underneath the 79 car. I mean, the 79 at Krister would love this win just as much. Krister's rookie season has been a disaster as well. No top 5s or top 10s this season for the 79 team, which has just been a disappointment all around. However, coming down to the end of the race, we got 2 laps to go. Jack Newman comes out of nowhere. Where did Jack Newman come from? In the Nitro Chevy. He's up in the front, but it looks like the 8 car is coming down low. Lap traffic from Kyle Collins maybe not be a factor. Oh, he's going to hold up the outside line. White flags in the air as Sergio Alonso finds himself in the right place at the right time once again, but he has our hungry Rick Witt on his tail. Rick explicitly said he will dump anyone for a win. Let's see if he does that today. Rick Witt going on the inside of the 8. Rick Witt now taking his Hampton Dodge to the inside. It's too good to be true. Out of the corner. Rick Witt does not have any force from behind. Checkered flag is waving. Rick Witt finds himself at the checkered flag at the right time, and Sergio Alonso, many would consider well-deserved, as he gets booted from the front. And Rick Witt, talk about a heartwarming story for them. And Rick Witt was pretty much the worst moments of his life. All these races that have led up to this moment ends with a little taste of satisfaction, as Rick Witt will have a winner sticker planted next to his name after this race. And he said he's confirmed that he will be coming back with Red Viper Racing despite this awful season. He might have a little bit more praise to say with that sentence after this win. Looking down, Zach Komoski, Derek Petrie, really good races for those 2 chase drivers. That will put them up high in the points as well. Let's take a break. Looking down the points, I see Zach Carr's not a good follow-up run for him after winning last week. Nicholas Samudio managed to come back after having problems on pit road early. Nikita Rizkov has been slowly rising the rookie points. That 22nd is not very high, but it will keep him up, as he probably will pass Matthew Brown, who actually missed this race. Matthew's season has kind of gone downhill in the last few races. But here's the slide we got to see here. Ryan Dunn, Jake Booker. I don't know. Jake Booker was out front, so I don't think his chase hopes are in jeopardy. But Ryan Dunn, that is scary for him. 42nd, we're just going to have to see when we go to the next slide. Michael Kraft, Aaron Lukes, Blaine Keys, all of them got to be wondering, are we in or are we out? Well, we're going to see right here when we see the chase point standings right here. And there you go. 4 drivers eliminated. Michael Kraft, Blaine Keys, Daniel Voiles, and Ryan Dunn. And how about that? Zach Komoski taking the points lead, and Jake Booker, your points leader, dropping down to 10th just from that 41st place finish. You see Brian Lenning was 2nd coming in. He's down to 7th. But let's go over the people that lost out. Michael Kraft did. Daniel Voiles, the only Red Viper Racing entry, and Blaine Keys the other Hoffman Motorsports entry, and it looks like Hergiel's curse worked because both of the Hoffman Motorsports cars out in the first 2 rounds. Here are the Rookie of the Year point standings, and as that was correct, Nikita is up to 3rd, passing Brock McMahon and Matthew Brown. Brown is just continually falling. Cesar Chavez now coming up on him in the 25 car. But Jose Vaquez actually missed this race, so it gave some of these drivers an opportunity to try to catch up. Obviously, it wasn't that effective because Nikita, being in 3rd, is still behind 100 points. Here's the updated chart on who is still left in the chase and who's not. As we see, the chart's starting to become a little bit more red now as the season wears down. We're only down 2 races, but there's 6 more exciting races to come, all leading up to the Armory Digital finale, and it's going to be amazing. But we got to go through Las Vegas, as we'll see you next time there. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all guys next week.